And we're back for another Saturday morning coffee episode, the last Alcove podcast of 2024. And ending out the year with me is my mom. Say hi, Mom.
Morning, everyone.
And today we're going to talk about family traditions, just in the spirit of the holidays, before we move into 2025, which seems really weird. 2025 has always been this big year. And I feel like, especially growing up in all the science textbooks, all of them said in 2025 this will happen. It'll be like this, like this, like this. I feel like 2025 was always meant to be this big, huge year with all these life and society changing inventions, and it feels weird to actually be going into 2025. Anyway, Mom, I feel like I know the answer to this question. But what holidays or traditions did you most look forward to while you were growing up?
Oh, gosh. Well, this is going to sound terrible, but we didn't have any traditions. When I was pretty young, my parents decided that Christmas was too commercialized, so they stopped putting up Christmas trees. We did get a gift from our grandparents. But there was no Christmas dinner, there was no Christmas tree, no presents, no nothing. So we stopped when we were really, really young. Of course, I think looking back now, that was just because we were so poor and it was easier to blame it on something else than to say, well, we just can't afford it.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't do Thanksgiving dinner unless we happened to go to somebody's house. Easter, if we went to my step-grandparents' house, then we would, participate in the Easter egg hunt or something. But there was no holiday traditions at my house.
What about traditions outside of the holidays? Any ones that you maybe looked forward to?
As silly as it sounds, on our birthdays was the one day we were allowed to walk up and check the mail. And that sounds so crazy, but it was a big deal. So on your birthday, because we lived out on this dirt road, it wasn't really that far. It was just at the end of the property, but it was the one day that you were allowed to go check the mail. And usually there was a birthday card or something in there. So your birthday, you would walk up and check the mail, and then you got to pick what was for dinner that night. And it was silly, but it was a big deal back then. But outside of that, my family wasn't very traditional in anything. There wasn't something that we did every single year for the sake of, family or time together. It was a different time and a different environment back then,
Yeah, the idea of only being allowed to walk up to the mailbox on your birthday just seems so strange by any standard. Mm-hmm. But you definitely did not have any kind of a normal childhood growing up.
It was normal for where I was at. It was normal for my time. It was normal.
Really?
Yeah. I don't remember any of my friends having big, traditions. We grew up in the country, outside of town, and the nearest town, was only 1,000 people, and that was 5 miles away. So I'm sure that some of my friends probably had Thanksgiving dinners or something that was a tradition, something that they did traditional, but it's not like it is today where we live in the city.
Well, how did you decide on what family traditions you did want to raise us with? Oh, hi, Kinsley. You want to come here? No.
So I didn't necessarily make a decision on what I wanted to do. Mommy, be right back. You can hang out with Grandma.
Daddy.
He went to work. Gensley. So what happened was, I think anybody should do, and I encourage you kids to do, is that take the things from your childhood that you loved and the things that you didn't love, and then make your own environment for the next generation. So the things that I wanted as a kid that I didn't have, I implemented with you kids. So such as sitting at a table to have dinner together. When I was a kid, I wanted to sit at a table and have dinner together every night, and we didn't. We sat in front of the TV, and just as I just thought that it was going to mean a lot to me, and it still does to this day. I prefer to sit at the table and eat together. Yeah. So that was something that was like a no-brainer for me. That was going to happen for us. I never wanted to sit in front of the TV. But for like the holiday traditions, those are things that we just worked into. Something that we tried one year and we decided that we really liked it, and so we continued with it the following year. Like the sparkling cider that we have every year at Thanksgiving. You know, some people have wine, some people have this. We have sparkling cider no matter how old you kids get.
I have to wonder how much the microphone is picking up of Kinsley in the background with her toys.
Way too much.
Kins, do you want to come here? You want to come here? No, she says no. Old enough to say no, not old enough to know better. I just have to hope that our microphones are picking up our voices more than
Thought I were
the
going to
toys.
start over.
I hope not. Let's actually just check. So, let's quickly just go over broadly some of the other family traditions we've picked up. Like we know, you mentioned like Christmas mimosas. We also have sparkling apple cider at holidays. There's going ham over turkey, as is more of a tradition for like Thanksgiving. We tend to do ham instead. The birthday dinner, you always let us pick either a restaurant or like what dinner we wanted at home. What other ones am I missing here?
Oh gosh. Let's see here. I don't know. Like around the holidays, there's not like a specific traditions for things like Easter or Memorial Day or anything like that. For me, I always just tried to make sure that, so we do mimosas on Christmas because that was your grandpa who passed away. He always did mimosas on Christmas. Mm-hmm. It wasn't our thing until, we did it when we went to his house, but then after he passed away, that's where it became our tradition, like to always remember grandpa. And your birthday dinner was because how special it is to feel that one day that it's your day. It's all about you. It's important. Everybody loves you, and even now, our family's huge, so I tend to cook more than take us out to a restaurant because with all the grandkids and the spouses, like, it's out of control, man.
Yeah.
So I don't know that there's a whole lot of other traditions that we would celebrate. You kids are like my number one important person. I love my husband more than anything, but I raised you and you raised me, and so making sure that you guys are happy and healthy and successful is just kind of the way that I lead my life. So things fell into a tradition, not because I planned it that way, but because I was just always thinking of what was best for us. And so we wound up enjoying some things and doing them over and over.
I think that's a really interesting way of talking about how like family traditions came about or were enforced, because I feel like that's not something I would hear from like the average family about why their family traditions might have formed.
Like your Christmas ornaments are,
That's
a great tradition. Yeah. Is when you guys were young, they had these cute little Hallmark first Christmas, second Christmas. There are all these little baby ornaments, and so we bought them. Your dad and I had bought them for the first couple of years, and I just fell in love with the idea of getting you an ornament every year. And of course, when we got out on our own, you were still just young, not I think you were like 8 or 9. Anyway, I had decided that I never wanted this to end, and I was going to do it at least until you were 18. And then I decided I wasn't just going to buy you some random ornament. I wanted to buy you an ornament for something that was happened in your life that year, something that was a monumental moment. So whenever you would open your ornaments and put them on the tree, you would reminisce about it every year and kind of remind yourself of a better or happier time or something funny that happened that year that was significant. And looking back, like the amount of ornaments and the amount of money I have spent was worth every
100%.
dime. Every dime. I'm telling you, it has been fantastic. You guys all have your ornaments now, so I don't see you putting them on the tree anymore, but it was really cool to watch everybody putting their ornaments on there. So.
So naturally, I have a good handful of Harry Potter ones.
Yeah.
A couple Star Wars, Scooby Doo, a couple miscellaneous ones. I got like a key with a house on it for like my first apartment when I moved out when I was
Yeah.
18.
Yeah.
And a couple other things. Hi, Kinsley. Welcome back. Do you have a favorite family tradition yet? You have a favorite tradition? No? Okay. Just thought I would check. But I love getting to put my ornaments up from my childhood because I do get to reflect on my life, and I get to make jokes about how obsessed I was with Harry Potter growing up and all the midnight premieres and all that. And
I know we
and
didn't
I-
even do that this year. Like
know.
you broke tradition this year. You usually make us do a Harry Potter marathon, but we didn't do it.
Yeah. And then I always like to set mine up like there's a scene. Like if there any of the ornaments that have like a cave setting, I like to put them a little bit further back, or the one
Oh,
where the
that's
Harry
fun.
Potter is like they're riding the broomsticks in the last movie away from the fire. I like to set it up so it's like on a branch where it's hovering well above the next branch, so it actually is like they're flying away from something and like
Nice.
they're on
Very
their
nice.
broomsticks. But yeah,
That's fun.
it's I look forward to getting to put up my ornaments and have a little story in my head. Works for them every time. But
Cool. Well, now you get couples
yeah,
ornaments because the ornaments again got out of control with the spouses and the grandkids. So now everybody's getting couples or family ornaments.
that's the best idea. So you kind of answered this, but is there anything you'd want to add about where these traditions come from? Did you find them from other people? Did you come up with them by yourself?
So yeah, you're right. I kind of answered it. So mimosas came from your grandpa. Sitting at the table was just something that I lacked as a child and wanted desperately to feel that connection with my family. And so I wanted that with you guys. So that's where it was important for me is that we sat at tables together and enjoyed that time. And it's tough during those teenage years sometimes to get them at the table, but when you do, it's important. And not just at Thanksgiving, you know, like it was a nightly thing that I wanted to sit at the table with you. The ornaments, of course, that just happened. I knew nobody who did anything like that. We simply found the ornaments when you guys were little and we're like, oh, these are cute. Let's get the kids an ornament. And then I fell in love with it almost immediately and just could never let it end. So, and I've passed that on to other people. I'm like, hey, this is something that I've done that, really means a lot to my kids because you don't know if you don't know, I mean, that's where you get your traditions from sometimes is being passed down or you've heard it from somebody else. So, yeah, so that's what we do. It's not a whole lot, but they're meaningful and important things. So I hope that the next generation will get these traditions and then also make bigger and better ones,
What you playing with, Kins? Oh, sorry, I disrupted you. My apologies. I just wanted to engage with you. I know. Instead, you're just looking at me like I'm the crazy one here. Oh no, Uncle Mikey wants to know what I'm doing. Yeah.
Kinsley's tradition is she gets up every morning, comes up the stairs, and because I'm at work, she comes running into the office. Hi, Nana! And if I'm not there, she's very sad and very confused.
Is that what you like to do? Yeah?
All smiles.
Oh, well, I have this document going where I'm like collecting traditions as I find them, and like all of it for me to like look back on and think about like when I do start having kids and start building a family that way. To try and think about, but I always just wonder like, is it too forced to do it that way? Is it something that comes naturally? But I feel like nothing really necessarily comes naturally, and it's all got to come from somewhere, right?
Well, I think when you start, for sure, it's not a natural thing if it's not something you've been doing. But if you don't try it, you don't know if it's something that you want to continue, and for it to become a tradition, you've got to try it once to see if you want to do it twice, to see if you're going to keep it on,
Yeah.
But don't overload yourself with trying to create traditions. Try a couple, find the ones that fit, and then drop the ones that don't.
Were there family traditions that you thought we would latch onto but didn't when we were growing up?
Gosh. Well, Easter. I mean, it's such a big deal for some families. Like, there's this whole, you go to church and you've got the Easter egg hunts and there's the big Easter dinner. And as hard as I tried to make Easter work, Easter never became a specific tradition. Like, some families do this huge Easter egg dyeing thing. I thought that would be so cool. It turns out it's a lot of work. And I'm fucking tired. Sorry.
Yeah. It's fine.
But, yeah, so we did the Easter eggs, but our Easter eggs are never big and glamorous. They're not a big get-together. If only 2 people show up and that's all the eggs we get dyed, well, so be it. It's not a big deal, you know? But I definitely wanted it to be, because I seen the other families with these big traditions of, you know, Easter egg dyeing and the dinner. And I'm like, no, it's just not for me. I couldn't make it work no matter how hard I tried.
Is that about the only one you could think of, though?
Well, yeah, because the Thanksgiving I've done, you know, I did exactly how I wanted it to make sure we had the family. It does get weird now because the family is so big that, you know, I go to Orfino and be with Harvey's family, and then we have a second Thanksgiving where we come to the house and I cook all the dinner. So 2 days in a row we have a big Thanksgiving. It's not quite what it used to be, but we still get together and it's still important. So, yeah.
Well, you got a book now? Oh, man. Kinsley brought us This Little Piggy and other favorite action rhymes. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'll give the book back. She did not appreciate me looking at the book. Hey, do you want the book? Is that what you want?
I am right here. Okay.
Tell you what, would you like us to wrap this show up so Nana can read you a book?
You can look at the book, right?
You got to say yes.
Not saying nothing.
Well, it's only fitting that today's song recommendation was Family Tradition by Hank Williams Jr.
Okay, I accidentally made that a tradition. I love that song since I was a kid, and it just so happened that I made it my ringtone, and then it was just implemented in every part of our world. We have sang karaoke at the frat house together. We are not good. We sing very off tune, but goddamn, we have a good time.
Yeah. So I thought there couldn't be a better song to choose for today's song recommendation than Family Tradition. And with that, a couple housekeeping. On January 1st is going to be the day 1 stream for 2025, talking about all the content ideas and plans for the year, and then doing a little bit of achievement hunting. We're going to be starting that at 10 o'clock on Wednesday, January 1st, and we're going to go for about 3 or 4 hours. So catch us there on our Twitch channel. And we have an official website up that I have built from scratch. That is going to be purpleelephant.tv. And that'll be linked in the show notes, but you can go there to find all of the links. But Twitch is Purple Elephant Prod, just like all of the socials. So you can find all of the links, though, like I said, on purpleelephant.tv. And that'll wrap us up and take us into 2025. Thank you so much, Mom, for joining me on the last podcast of 2025. Yeah. I appreciate you talking about family traditions with me.
Happy New Year's, everybody.
Happy New Year's. Anything to say, Kins?
Say bye.
Yeah.
Okay.